Good morning and welcome. It's a brand new Tuesday for you to make up on all the excuses from a Monday. After all, that's what Tuesdays are for now, isn't it? The new Monday is what we call it when we try to catch up on all the things that we left undone from yesterday. In any case, welcome. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
And like we always like to do, we welcome you to the Tuesday edition with something a little inspirational. So let's have a try on this one.
Go ahead. Oh, should I?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Tuesday is never a bad day. It's a sign that you somehow survived Monday. And if you can do that, then that means you can take on 4 more days. So, hey, even one-handed.
One hand tied behind your back or blindfolded.
Anything.
Exactly.
You can do it.
It's the countdown to the end of the week already for Mazino.
You bet.
Even if this week is only on the 2nd day of the week, we ask you to stay right there. We have an entire week of great content for you. And, of course, today's entire show is going to be amazing as well. Mary is looking pretty in pink today.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Mary.
Hey,
it's
Mary.
It's a pity they can't see those shoes.
Yeah. So I tried putting myself together this morning, and it's been a lot of activity I can't even explain. But, hey, I'm here now. Thank you for calling me pretty in pink. I actually love the outfit.
Oh.
Do you like it, too?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
If only you guys knew, it took an entire army to actually put Mary together this morning.
Wow,
I'd like to say thank you to
because
myself.
I'm Humpty Dumpty.
I did not say it.
Oh my goodness.
In any case, welcome. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And I'm Titilayo Onison. Please stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv or on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yes, and you can send in your comments, please, using the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC because we love to read them.
Yeah, Android, iOS, no matter what you're using, we have an app that's available for you to download. You can also check us out on YouTube at TVC Entertainment.
Right. Now, let's get with the highlights here. Health is wealth is what they say. Hence, we will be starting with Dr. Babajide Lawson, a lead consultant, orthopedic, and also trauma surgeon, as he joins us to talk about different bone cancers and what's important when living with the disorder. For a musical performance, we have Afro-pop and dance hall artist Otebayo Joseph, popularly known as Timmy Phoenix. And he will be coming with some soul-lifting, spirit-edifying music this morning.
On parenting, we have Sandra Oluwadare, a parenting coach and founder of Winning in Parenting. We're going to be talking about connecting with your child very, very soon.
Welcome for
Yes,
Tuesday
indeed.
edition here, beautiful ladies by my side. What else could you ask for? Except that it might have been quite the trouble to get your clothes ironed this morning. I don't know about you guys.
For a lot of people at
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear about the national?
I'm showing proof here.
No, don't worry. It's okay.
No.
It's
No,
okay.
you're
We
not.
can't see all of that. Did you iron your hair?
Don't. Oh my gosh. Really, Mazino? You don't touch
I
a lady's
use
hair.
plates.
Who says
You
it?
don't
Please,
do that unless you're the hairstylist.
In any case, the national power grid went down a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys experienced a blackout because I know I haven't had power for 2 days.
2 days.
I don't want to tell you the ingenious means with which, I get all spruced up in the morning, but it has not been easy, because you can't use your...
Have you gone back to secondary school days, folding shirts under the pillow?
Hey, don't tell them the secret.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so from when I was younger, my parents always used to iron for the week. So that whole culture of have everything done
For the week
has
really
always
helpful.
been. So I always kind of have backups. But in the end, it's a real issue because a lot of people just need, first of all, they need it for their businesses. They need it to get set for the week. And in the end, we end up using more fuel,
So,
which has been scarce of recent.
What has been upsetting is what you just said. That's what I was about to talk about.
Yeah.
The fact that everything seems to have gone awry. First, there is no fuel, or rather,
Fuel is...
fuel stations are doing magic. And then, of course, we're having power issues. So when you put all of this together, and then there's insecurity, because you cannot go to your neighbor's house in the middle of the night, because you might be opening doors to somebody that wants to enter your house. So all of these things are making people like, okay, what's going on? Should we start? If you know the number of people relocating,
But there's a very simple answer to all of this, and I think most Lagosians are beginning to embrace that businesses as well. The fact is, we actually didn't know that we walked into an era where everything solves itself, and that's remote working. I mean, coupled with all the scarcity, the NEPA business, and then the fact that there's traffic out there, people are beginning to insist to their bosses.
Fewer companies are agreeing.
No, but they have no choice. In Lagos right now, after Aerofy said that next to us is hell, I think it's okay to tell your boss, I'm not coming in today.
Still not grew.
You know, in any case, it might be tough out there, but I think Titi has this one locked down. Go ahead, give them the cheese.
Well, hey, hopefully it won't be too sunny, so they won't see all the wrinkles in your shirt this morning.
Hello and welcome to the news update here on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's get things started in the nation's capital, Abuja, where the back and forth between the federal government and the academic staff of universities ASU has taken a new turn. This time, the Ministry of Education is insisting that the federal government has met all the demands of the union. The Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, says all earned allowances as well as revitalization funds have been released. The academic staff union of universities had earlier declared a rollover strike for another 2 months, beginning midnight, 14th March 2022. Meanwhile, officials of the academic staff union of universities say the decision to extend the industrial action after 1 month warning strike is coming as a result of the refusal of the federal government to agree to their demands. The federal government and ASU officials have had series of meetings in the wake of the industrial action, and there have been accusations and counter-accusations between both parties as they failed to reach an agreement. Students have now protested across the nation demanding the reopening of varsity campuses. They accused ASU and the federal government of insensitivity, saying they are the ones most affected by the situation. Let's turn to security stories now. In Borno State, Boko Haram terrorists have abducted staff of the International Rescue Committee and 3 other security officers attached to the staff quarters in Mogonu town of Borno State. The incident has generated fear amongst residents of the area. The question on the lips of many residents is how the terrorists made their way to the staff quarters and picked the staff. Sources told TVC News that there was also no sound of gunshots when this incident happened to suggest a forceful entry. Mogonu town is about 138.6 kilometers away from Maiduguri, the state capital, with heavy security officers carrying out operations in that area. At the moment, the IRC had not made any public announcement on the kidnap of its staff. And away from that story, going forward, Nigerians may experience epileptic power supply. This is happening on a day the national electricity grid suffered a system collapse, leading to power outages across the country. The grid is infamous for experiencing disruptions over the years. The grid had collapsed in February, May, July, and August 2021. The electricity distribution companies in the country say the recent collapse of the grid occurred earlier on Monday, disrupting power supply within their networks. Meanwhile, the Coal Electricity Distribution Company Limited has apologized to customers and promised to keep them updated on the situation. And that does it for us here on the news. At this time, I'll be back on the other side of 8 with more stories. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to stick around here on Wake Up Nigeria because we have much more coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. Today's Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. We're starting with the Guardian newspaper. At this point, it says CBN in fresh plan to wean banks of cash handling risks and costs. How? They move to license shared cash hub operators, consider areas with large banking activities to accommodate individuals, corporate entities with huge cash needs, and restricted to transactions not below 500,000 naira. Now, the story starts there on the cover and wraps up on page 2. Outrage as ASU extends strike by 2 months. Page 3 has more on that. Page 4 has a story on Abba Kyari's wife, who apparently slumped in court yesterday. NDLEA remands husband and 6 others. Chaos at airports as fuel scarcity disrupts operations. And, of course, amid costly diesel grid collapses 24 hours after Genco's warning. Now, here it says the embattled Deputy Commissioner of Police, former head of Police Intelligence Response Team, Abba Kyari, and his man at the High Court yesterday in Abuja. That's the photo story you're seeing right there. And that's what we have below the masthead. But just above, there is an editorial on the Russia-Ukraine war. Moving to the next newspaper now, we have The Punch with us. It's a similar headline here. Amid blackout as national grid collapses, federal government summons emergency meeting. Page 18 has a lot more on this story. Discos alert power consumers as 19 power plants record zero output. 19 of them. Federal government, TCN, Gencos, NNPC, oil firms, others hold marathon session. And major firms, public institutions suspend services as blackout lingers. Right at the top here, federal government may spend 93% of revenue on interest in 2022, according to IMF. Reps, NNPC intervene as flight cancellations leave passengers stranded. And of course, ASU extends strike till May. Parents beg. Federal government says demands met. And Nigeria reports 1,060 polio cases. Variant hits 29 states and the FCT. And that's what we have on the cover of The Punch. All right.
Welcome. What's up and about, ladies?
Oh, well, there's a lot up and about.
She has a very interesting story she wants to tell.
Okay, so here I was going through the streets of Twitter when I stumbled upon something funny. Someone posted that Alex Lobalova said in December 2021 he registered for, you know, this ride
hail, yeah.
Yeah, and then he started picking people. He said there are many crazy folks that he has encountered. But the craziest he ever encountered was last month, and that was what made him quit. Imagine someone doing the call app thingy from December to February. Just 3 months, 2 months, and he has quit. What made him quit? He carried a passenger who insisted on, you know, taking a pee on the Third Mainland Bridge. He said, "Oga, no, you cannot." This guy did it through the window.
Wait, so he wound down while in motion and started urinating. Public eutrophication.
He actually was asking the guy, "Uncle, are you all right? Are you drunk?"
No,
I'm not drunk.
You know, when I see this kind of stories on Twitter, what I do is I go to the comment section because that's where the main thing is. And I read a couple of very interesting ones. This guy says a friend told me of how he carried 2 girls in the dead of night, and they stopped him on the Third Mainland Bridge and brought out calabashes. They started chanting the names of some men, possibly the names of the men that they were going to go hook up with. When they were done, they asked him to continue, threw their bashes inside of the lagoon. And then that was it. But I will tell you.
So you just said that was it, like as if that wasn't something really. It was a crazy experience for that guy because, you know, he probably couldn't stop them because they probably had some men's names in mind. And if he had stopped them,
it was just from the But I'll tell you something.
The other one of Calabash. Wait, you tell us.
No. The one I wanted to read about was the ladies' one. There was a female driver who talked about the fact that she's lost count how many times male riders have suggested that they chill as soon as the ride is over.
She also said about the old let me drive.
The couple that she dropped off, and imagine her surprise when the couple started arguing on who should pay for the ride.
Keeping her waiting.
Imagine keeping her waiting, and then apparently the guy out of the couple said, "He's a woman, no. Are you sure I shouldn't drive?" Imagine.
Break the bias.
Imagine.
I'll tell you something here. It takes a lot of humility to be able to do that kind of a job. I have a friend actually. He's no longer in the country, but while he was here in Nigeria, not a small guy, earned a very considerable amount while he was here. And he's still engaged in the ride app service. And he would say, I would ask him, why do you do it? You have enough money. Your car is not a small car. Your son goes to a big school and everything. So why do you? And he said to me that it keeps him grounded because the kind of people that you meet will bring you down to earth, and that's why he does it.
Wow.
I don't understand him. I still don't understand because I don't know that I can take all this from the Goshen.
But you know something crazy about all of this? it's not even just the ride-up service that has all these issues. Working in Lagos, you have to be humble.
Yeah.
You would
Customer
own a
service.
shop, someone comes into your big store, and the person probably just wants to buy a small item.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you that because customer is king,
Yeah.
they will talk down at your staff,
Yeah.
treat you like
Yeah.
hello, and then when they finish, how much is my bill? 3,000. Okay, yeah, bring it.
Yeah.
If I don't patronize you, you're not going to chop.
And then they would even talk about your products or your service as if it's not top notch, and you know what you've paid for, you know the service you're giving, you understand how well you do your job, yet they still talk. And you know the weird thing, it still happens in different industries such as photography. You know, like a wedding photographer now. This person probably studied, has equipment that's more expensive than your outfit.
Yeah.
And you still call in photo.
I will ask a question,
why?
however. What does that say about
Why?
us as individuals in this society? Because whether you like it or not, it is you and I we're talking about here. Because we have had those instances where we go to places and we have talked down at people who are rendering services to us. I once had an issue with someone I was dating just before I got married, and that's the reason why I actually didn't get married. I'm not going to tell her name. But took her out for dinner, and the way she talked down at this lady who was actually serving us, I felt so bad that I eventually had to go meet the lady and tell her, please, I am so sorry. She's having a bad day and all of that. There's something called special order. When you talk down to people like that who serve you,
Your food.
the special order they are
Should I make the
serving you,
sound for you?
spitting on your onion rings and stuff
Oh
like
my
that. You
God.
don't know
make
what goes on in the back.
See your
And that's the scariest thing for me, because they
This is
do
your
all
plate.
sorts of nonsense to it, and then they're relishing watching you eat that rubbish. You don't know what's happening.
And that's why they are
Think about
extra
it.
nice to you.
Extra nice.
Because they want to see it first. Did you need
Oh.
anything?
No, baby, I want to make the sound.
Don't do it!
It's
Inside
too
your food.
early.
Gladly.
But I will say to anybody out there, everybody out there, the next person, no matter what level they are, they're human beings, and that should come first. Common courtesy is the most basic thing you could ever offer another person. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how much you earn or how low they are. You know.
Some people will take advantage, but just be good. That's it.
Just be good. Be human, at least.
Yes, indeed. And if you're someone that's in a dignified labor field job, please keep doing your job to the best of your ability. We appreciate you right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. Do stay tuned. We'll be back.
Welcome back. Now, health indeed is wealth. And we're going to be starting on our health segment this morning with a very delicate topic, but with the right person to discuss it. Dr. Babajide Lawson is a lead consultant and orthopedic surgeon, and he has a lot of experience with regards bone conditions. Now, today we're going to be talking specifically about bone cancers. We've heard a lot about different types of cancers in the past, probably not had much of a focus on bone cancers before, and it's a great opportunity to speak on it this morning. Welcome back to the studio, Doctor.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so for those that have never heard of bone cancers before, can we break down what exactly it is?
Okay, so generally, cancers, so if you start from tumors, that will just mean any growth. And then you move on to the next level, which are cancers. And the problem with cancers is that, one, they can spread to other parts of the body.
Okay.
And two, the effects can be very, very devastating. It has an effect on lifestyle, affects family, and then the cost of care also is rather prohibitive.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, if it is in the advanced stages, there really is no cure, which is very unfortunate.
Very, very unfortunate indeed. So in the end, you possibly have patients who end up living quite a long time with bone cancer. But I guess the treatment and the process depends on the sort of symptoms that they come up with.
Yeah.
So let's go over some of the symptoms people could look out for.
Okay, so since the cancers are limited to, we're talking about bone now.
Yes.
One of the common complaints would be bone pain.
Okay.
And the bone pain is not just the regular, oh, I went to work, had a very busy day kind of pain. it's usually initially dull and persistent. Doesn't really respond that well to pain medication.
Okay.
And the other thing that also comes up is that sometimes there is now the development of a growth such that the limb, so the common thing there is that the bone cancers tend to affect the long bones. And by long bones, we mean bones of the arm, the forearm, the leg, and the thigh and the leg. So when that happens, the tendency is that there may be, notice a swelling.
Okay.
And the swelling continues to get bigger, it's hard.
Okay.
And then you need to go to the hospital to get a doctor to take a look at x-rays and other things to be able to pick it up.
So someone eventually gets to the doctor's office. What are the things that the doctor tests for?
Okay, so try to get to, listen to the complaints, bone pain, swelling, an x-ray, which usually is the simplest, most basic investigation.
Okay.
Unfortunately, again, for the cancers, by the time you are seeing it on x-ray, is not a very good sign.
Okay.
Which would, because it usually is a bit advanced at that point in time. So, but if the person presents early enough, the doctor sees, there are other modalities like a CT or an MRI, which are 3D and are able to pick these things. They're a lot more sensitive, so they can pick it up a lot earlier than when it shows up on X-ray. But the first thing usually would be an X-ray.
Okay, so now the doctors told the patient to get an X-ray, possibly an MRI, and those symptoms actually say it is cancer. So a lot of people...
So let me interject. So, so the first thing is you want to take a look at the bone with the imaging to see is there anything there. And if you do see anything that is suggestive of a cancer, then you move to the next phase in what we call, it's called a bone biopsy. So you just take a specimen of that bone to go and test. One, to prove that, yes, is this truly a cancer? And then you want to type it. What type of cancer is it? Because that will now determine the type of treatment that the patient is offered. It also gives you an idea of the extent of what's going on.
Okay, so when you say type, that's type 1, type 2, or...
okay, so type usually, so that the thing is, okay, so let's dial back. A cancer will arise from a cell.
Okay.
Bone has bone cells, has cartilage cells, has bone marrow and things like that.
Sure.
So it can arise from any one of this. So when you're trying to type it, you want to know, is it from the bone? Is it from the cartilage? Is it from the tissues around there?
Wow.
So that you'll be able to say, okay, this is essentially...
Okay, so I want to dial it back now and talk about things that... I know that there's still a lot of research as to what causes cancers. But I know that it's been linked to lifestyle. So, for instance, is there anything people should be avoiding or not doing to prevent, exposure to this kind of disease?
Okay, so again, unfortunately, there are no obvious recognized causes. And so hence prevention is literally very difficult to advise about. Like you said, lifestyle is implicated for a lot of cancers, but then you can't really pinpoint and say this particular thing. Although we do know that there are certain congenital or genetic conditions that may predispose the individual to a bone cancer, but as per prevention is literally, we're short of information.
So in terms of statistics now, is it more common in women? Is it more common in men? Is it something that affects children? Okay,
so fortunately, bone cancers are not very common compared to other cancers. Thank God for that.
Okay.
They're commoner in males. We tend to see a lot of them in children, largely because children are still growing and they have rapid growth potential.
Okay.
So, and that's commoner in the second decade, so that's between 11 and 19 years of age. Male over female, then second decade, essentially.
So it is all in all a scary thought for a child, a minor, to go through something like this. and you've probably had to deal with a lot of parents who are at a loss as at what to do. So if there's a couple in your office trying to figure out what to do next, what do you tell them?
All right, so it's a very delicate topic, and you have to be sensitive in how you present the matter, because you cannot make a mistake in the diagnosis, in the sense that you cannot say it's a cancer if it is not.
Okay.
And you cannot miss it if it's a cancer. So the information dissemination is very important. Oh, this looks suggestive of this. We need to investigate further, and we need to be aggressive. Now, once the diagnosis is made, the intervention depends on the timing, and if it's early enough, some of the treatments may include something as drastic as an amputation.
Wow.
With prosthesis, sometimes the children would need to be on chemotherapy, and that's why sometimes you see the heads are shaven and stuff like that. So it's not really a pleasant topic to talk about.
It isn't. But we appreciate you coming to share this information with us, because you just never know who might be able to catch it early enough to deal with it. Thank you so much, Dr. Lawson, for coming to talk to us. We'll see you soon. If you have any questions, make sure you use our social media. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC, and we'll see if we can help with some of your questions. We're heading over to the kitchen at this point. Mary is standing by with our chef.
Dr. Lawson seems to put fear in your minds about what you're about to eat. Are you sure I want to eat this breakfast this morning? Thank you so much for coming. Well, it's time for us to prepare breakfast right here on Wake Up Nigeria. And to do exciting and fantastic justice to that this morning is the one and only Chef Ariola.
Thank you very much.
So I already like him. You know why? He's an Arsenal fan. Yay.
The best time to be an Arsenal fan.
Yes, so it's the best time to be. In fact, not last year, not 2 years ago, right now. I know. Okay, so what are we having for breakfast?
All right, so we're having buffalo chicken with a side of vegetable and celery, as well as mashed potatoes.
Okay, sounds like a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. What are we making use of?
All right, so we're making use of chicken, obviously.
Okay. What did you do to the chicken?
I just added some marinade to it.
What's in the marinade?
I have rosemary.
Okay.
And I have some lime.
Okay.
I added lime and a bit of vinegar.
Wow, so there's going to be that acidic taste as well.
Of course.
That's all you put?
That's all.
No seasoning? No salt? Okay,
a little
little
bit
salt.
of salt and black pepper.
And black pepper, that's all.
That's
Wow.
all.
Wow,
Keeping
I
it
wonder
simple.
how it would taste. This is a good one you've given me. Okay, so what about this?
Right, so
This
I
is
have
salt, I know.
Salt, rosemary.
Okay,
And
this
I have
rosemary.
thyme and garlic powder.
There's thyme powder.
This is garlic powder
Okay.
and
Ginger.
sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
What is the same thing?
Yeah, this is the ginger.
Okay, this is the garlic.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And of course,
Yeah, pepper, black
chili
pepper,
flakes,
yeah.
black pepper
Yeah.
flakes. Okay.
So
Then-
celery, parsley.
Okay. Cucumber,
Yes. Carrot, Irish potatoes.
Irish potatoes,
Yeah.
margarine,
Yes.
ketchup,
Mayonnaise,
mayonnaise,
yogurt,
yogurt,
milk,
cream,
oil.
and of course oil
Yeah, and
and
honey.
honey.
Yeah.
So you see the honey part is to sweeten it. So when you put it all together, you now bind it with the honey that will make you go. You can't have buffalo wings without honey. There's just something it does
Exactly.
that makes the taste like, puts it all together.
An extra
The ingredients are currently on your screen, by the way, so you might want to scribble them, okay? So don't miss anything. This is going to be a very easy dish. Seems like we have so many ingredients, but believe me, it's one of the easiest dishes you can make yourself. Okay, so we have water boiling, and it's for the potatoes which you're currently peeling.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can replace these potatoes with something else? And if I can replace it, what can I replace it with?
Radish.
Radish. That's the only other option.
Well, for those who don't like Irish, they go for sweet.
Oh, you can do sweet potatoes as well.
And if you're a yam fan like myself,
You can go for yam as well. Okay, but can you replace it with like plantain? Would it give you what you need?
well, that's if you love plantain, but
There's some people that they are plantain gang.
yeah,
though.
no, of course.
So you can replace it with plantain
Yeah,
as
but
well.
then it gives it a little difference,
Eh.
because you have a lot of sweet.
Sweet,
and
sweet,
plantain
sweet,
is also
sweet.
sweet.
Okay.
So-
So this is supposed to be balancing
Exactly.
it out. But sweet potato is also sweet.
Yeah, it is, but because it's in a root vegetable category,
Yeah,
it gives it a
it's there.
different feel.
Okay. We still have Chef Ariola doing justice to breakfast this morning, which of course is buffalo wings with, how did you say it?
Buffalo wings with a side of mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
vegetables.
and vegetables. Yes, I told you it's a mouthful. Buffalo wings, that one we know very well. And then with a side of mashed potatoes and vegetables. So that's what we're having this morning. So far, so good. Run us through what we've done.
All right, so we have our chicken in the air fryer.
Okay.
And I'm cutting up the vegetables. Our potato is boiling.
Okay.
So I'm going to quickly make our dip here.
Okay.
So the dip is what we're going to eat along with the chicken and our vegetables.
Okay, okay.
Right.
So what are we doing with the dip? How are we going about it?
Okay, so I'm going to mix in the yogurt.
Do you need a spoon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm going to mix in the yogurt.
Okay, a little one should do.
All right, some oil first.
Yogurt and oil. Okay. They say it's yogurt. But if you tell that to someone that is pushing through, you will not get where you want to. It's like saying you're going to Beja bus stop. You will reach Ogun State before you know what's up.
All right.
Okay. So what oil? What does the oil do to the yogurt?
Gives it a bit of texture and extra taste.
Really?
Yeah,
Regular vegetable oil with yogurt?
with yogurt. And you could also, because some people like to eat healthy, so you could go for olive oil,
Okay.
yeah, or sesame oil, cottonseed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would never have thought. Okay, so what goes in next? Rosemary. Okay. Mary is always a good girl. Okay. And of course, the pepper.
Yeah, and then some
Can I put
mayo.
more peppers if I want?
Yeah.
Okay. Some mayo. Okay. So what does mayo and yogurt do?
All right, so can I tell you should wait till when you taste it?
For me to, the taste is what will define it.
The taste
I
is-
can't wait to taste it then.
So just
So-
give that a little mix.
Okay. So far so good. We have just spices, the yogurt of course, and then a bit of oil, just a little oil.
And then
You're putting celery
and parsley.
and parsley. Wow.
So it's,
Wow. Are you cutting it up or you're just going to
no,
put
I'm
it
going to
in?
chop it.
Now, wow. Is the ketchup going in as well?
No,
Okay. So the ketchup is for the chicken.
yes,
Okay, same with the honey.
of course.
Okay. Don't worry. So this is what we're going to do, By the time we get back at the end of the show, when we want to tell you what we've done, when we're telling whoever is going to have our food, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start from where we stopped here to continue so you can catch up. You won't miss a bit, all right? It's the top of the hour. We still have the other side of the hour to go, so make sure you stay with us. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. Now, the second hour of Wake Up Nigeria often needs no introduction. We had an entire hour for an introduction just for you, wherein you already know what to expect to be showcased.
Yeah, nonetheless, for those not so early risers who might have missed that fine 1 hour of TV goodness, well, we will reiterate how much great TV you stand to enjoy for the next 45 minutes.
So get ready. We have quite a lot more for you starting now. Welcome to the second hour of your premium breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, to go with your cereal or maybe your beverage this late morning, let us regale you with some, wholesome conversation. We still have a few very interesting segments here I would like you guys to see. So please do stay tuned, all right?
Indeed. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And of course, my name is Mazino Appeal. The kitchen is still beautifully, everything's still happening in there. We're loving the smells that's coming from out of there. Mary, you guys are doing a good job, huh?
We are doing a lot. We're doing a lot. I can't wait for breakfast to be served. I'm learning a lot here this morning. Believe me, I wish we could talk about everything we're learning this morning, but it's been an amazing journey, especially regarding the dip.
Yeah, I love me some buffalo wings, and I'm looking forward to that one. In any case, you want to stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv and also on Facebook at TVC Connect. Send in your comments. We love to read them on social media. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. You
can also download the app for Android or indeed iOS. You get unrestricted access to our premium shows anywhere you may be.
Now, you'll find us entertainment, entertaining you.
Yeah.
What she said. So hang in there, people. Let's let you guys know what we have for the next 45 minutes here. We still have some soul-lifting and spirit-edifying music coming your way from Afro-pop dancehall artist Timmy Phoenix. Stay tuned.
And then for parenting, we're going to be talking about connecting with your child with Sandra Oluwadare, a parenting coach and the founder of Winning in Parenting.
Well, alrighty then. Now, I mentioned something inside of the entertainment segment. I was talking about Ubi Franklin,
Okay.
because they have an issue that's gotten really messy, and I don't know if you guys are privy to it.
There's some voice notes that went
voice
out.
notes and stuff, and some very, very derogative, and everything's just a mess. And I want to say this. I know that they had a relationship. They were married. She also got married after. That's the wife now, and I think separated now again. And all of that detail and everything that's happening in between the couple or former couple is something that I'd like to relate to every normal couple out there.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through stuff like this. The only difference, like Kat said, is that you put it out in the public and it's never the same again. However, that's the first mistake, going back to Cora's husband, that you do, putting it out in the public. Once the public gets involved, you feel this need to want to win a conversation. And that's just what messes everything up. You become children fighting dirty. And my advice to anybody?
Referring to the Kora Obidi incident, when it happened, I was like, this guy is going to regret what he's done. Because people take foolish decisions when they are angry. You're mad. Your wife upsets you, and you go, you know what, I'm done with this marriage. In 4 months' time, you're going to go back to her and say, oh, let's make this thing work. But it's terrible when you've insulted every member of her family, especially by saying she's cheating and all, which is what he was apologizing for. You've said a lot of things you really shouldn't have, and then you blame it on anger. It doesn't work that way. And for Ubi Franklin, I know Ubi. Now, I don't know him the way women know him, but I know Ubi, and I know him to be a decent person. So all of these things is just like when you meet an individual and the person is like really wild, and people are telling you that, this guy is really wild, but the part of him that you know is not that way. Maybe it's the way he relates with me, but the reality is I struggle to actually reconcile Ubi with the person that so many people say he is.
So now the image of people on social media is often not the image of the real person. Even in terms of how frivolous they spend money or how they dress, most of it is all a facade. And in the negative as well, some of the negative imagery you get of people on the outside might not be who they actually are on the inside. So for instance, let's look at Cora again, who is a lively dancer, and that's who she was when he met her. So she's still being who she has always been. She never changed. She literally danced pregnant on a competition, an international competition, and people couldn't believe it. So, there are some things that go with that territory. And if you decided to go into a marriage with someone like that,
you should be,
should be prepared for at least, well, hey,
the fact is, it's going to be a factor. It's something that you're going to have to deal with, whatever the...
In the end, keeping it to yourself is also important for her dignity, for your dignity.
Let me jump on that before you say what you want to say. My point is this. You have a partner. You guys are legally married. Talk to that person. You don't need these guys. And that's my problem with people in relationships. Forget about these other guys as spectators.
Sometimes you might have talked to the person, it didn't work.
Keep trying.
But my own is just don't go on social media. Because that's 1 minute madness. It stays forever.
It does.
It stays forever.
Well, we're hoping for the best for them, and hopefully they will sort things out soon enough.
Kidnapped a staff of the International Rescue Committee and 3 other security officers attached to the staff quarters in Mogunu town of Borno State. The incident has generated fear amongst residents of the area. The question on the lips of many Nigerians and residents in that area is how the terrorists made their way to the staff quarters and picked a staff. The sources told TVC News that there was also no sound of gunshots when this incident happened to suggest a forceful entry. Mogunu town is about 138 0.6 kilometers away from Maiduguri, the state capital, with heavy security officers carrying out operations. At the moment, the IRC had not made any public announcement on the abduction of its staff. Away from security stories, going forward, Nigerians may experience epileptic power supply. This is happening on a day the national electricity grid suffered system collapse, leading to power outages across the country. The grid is infamous for experiencing disruptions over the years. The grid had collapsed in February, in May, July, and August 2021. Distribution companies in the country say the recent collapse of the grid occurred on Monday, disrupting power supply within their networks. Meanwhile, the Eco Electricity Distribution Company Limited has apologized to customers and promised to keep them updated to the situation. And outside Nigeria, an evacuation convoy of about 160 cars has managed to leave the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol, as previous attempts to allow civilians flee the southern city along humanitarian corridors have failed, as Russian attacks continue. Now, people who have escaped the city say residents have run out of food and clean water. This is as the United Nations agency says at least 636 civilians have died in Ukraine since the Russian invasion began. This is an increase of 40 deaths compared to the previous daily updates. Among the dead are 6 girls, 10 boys, and 30 more children whose gender is not known. Now, according to the agency, at least 1,125 civilians have been injured so far. Now, more than 2.8 million people have fled Ukraine for neighboring countries as of Monday, including 127,000 third country nationals. And according to UNICEF, the war in Ukraine is having a devastating impact on more than 7.5 million children. Meanwhile, Ukrainian negotiator said in an update on Twitter that, quote, a technical pause has been taken in the Ukraine-Russia talks until Tuesday. He said the 4th session was being held virtually, not in person, with the Ukrainian negotiating team in Kyiv. There have been fierce battles across the country as fighting has continued, with a bombardment in Kyiv killing at least 1 person after a block of flats was hit. Intense fighting is also raging in the strategic maritime city of Mykolaiv, where at least 2 people were killed and 10 injured during shelling on its outskirts on Monday. And that does it for us on the news update. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to stick around here on TVC for the rest of Wake Up Nigeria. Good morning.
Okay, so we're still in the kitchen with Chef Ariola. We're making breakfast. A breakfast will soon be ready. In fact, we are on the last stages of it. We're having buffalo wings with mashed potato and vegetables, okay? Vegetables are ready. Potato has been mashed. Chef Ariola, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to pour in the milk now.
Okay.
To the pan. Added some butter to that.
Melted butter. We melted butter. Let me point that out.
Yeah, melted.
Okay.
So in goes.
Immediately?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to let it boil or something?
So when it boils together with the potatoes.
Okay. Do we have to reduce the heat or it's all right?
It's all right.
Okay. Mashing potato can be really stressful. I wonder how people do it on a regular.
Really?
And for some countries, this is actually a staple. Breakfast, though. And even for dinner.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Then I'm going to season generously.
Generously. The choice of generously. So if I don't want to use milk, like evaporated milk, can I use cream, like cooking cream?
Yeah,
okay.
you can. And you could also add some cheese.
Oh, cheese. Okay. We should mention what we're using. We're using salt.
Yes, salt.
Garlic, ginger powder.
Rosemary.
Okay.
And black pepper.
Did you put the black pepper as well?
Yes.
Okay, so now how do you mix it up? Okay. So just put it all together. So you just spread it out. Wow.
It's going to absorb.
Wow. Okay, so.
It becomes very, very creamy. So that's what we're looking to achieve.
Okay. So now when this is done, on the other side, We have ketchup and honey mix.
Yes.
Hey. So what else did we put in that?
Also melted butter.
Okay, melted butter.
Melted butter.
Okay.
Also,
so here it is.
Yeah.
The ketchup, honey, and melted butter. Right?
Yes.
So that's all we have in here.
Of course.
And
herbs, yeah.
spices. Which of the herbs did you put in?
I used just the rosemary.
Just the rosemary.
Just the rosemary.
That's all.
That's all.
There's no salt inside. Okay, okay. So we have here rosemary, ketchup, honey,
And melted butter.
and melted butter. So that's what we're going to use for the chicken. That's actually the soul of buffalo wings, because without that, you're not really having that. So we're going to put the chicken in next,
Yes,
right?
let
So
me
you can
separate
see us
this
do
to
the
allow
mix.
it set.
Okay. So here we go. Here's the chicken. Yeah. So each one goes in. So if you've been looking for a cheap method to entertain your friends and family when you're having a party, and you're wondering, this thing, it doesn't taste like when I go to a restaurant. Oh, this is the secret. Very easy. Honey, ketchup, rosemary, melted butter, chicken, and you're good to go. Just look at how this one looks. Hell, chineke. Yum. Yeah. Wait, did I just swallow spit? I did. Okay. See, we can't wait to dish this out and have our guests dig into it. Right now, though, let's take this break. We'll be right back. It's Wake Up Nigeria.
Most parents don't realize that they're part of a reality show, and it's called parenting. That was supposed to be a joke, but I think I'm probably the only one laughing at this point. It's all about being able to connect with your child, and it's one of the most challenging things for parents of 2022 to do. We have with us Sandra Oluwadare, a parenting coach and founder of Winning in Parenting. She's here to join us, and let's try and solve this conundrum of connecting with our kids. It feels like a myth. Do you really ever connect with your child, or do you just guide them along their way?
No matter what happens right now, we know that so many things are going on in the society. It looks like the hustling, is so much, and it's like there's really no time to connect. But the truth is, connection is actually happening in lots of homes. If we can only be mindful, there's something called mindfulness in parenting. If we can be mindful, we would realize that there are so many opportunities, that just slip by, that we can actually, engage in to build that connection with our children. So yes, we can actually connect a great deal with our children.
So the most common excuse or pastime is to say, we are busy. There's no time.
Yeah.
When do you find time to connect? And what exactly are we connecting on? Why is it important?
Okay, so there are so many opportunities in our daily activities. It's when you begin to think that you need to do something extra. You just wake up one morning and you realize that a lot of time has gone by and you've not really taken advantage of those opportunities. So in the little things we do on a daily basis, normal activities, you wake your children up in the morning, that's a place to connect. You serving them breakfast is a good place to connect. You don't need to go to the park at that time. You have an opportunity before you. So you wake them up, you give them tickles, you give them hugs and all of that. That is connection. You're serving their food and all of that. You're at the table. You just have some kind of small talk before. So the opportunities are endless. But once you just sit into yourself and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to look in and see how I can actually, use these opportunities.
So I've read a few articles where they say, dinner time or breakfast time is a good time to connect. But a lot of parents see that time to yell. Come here and sit down. Come on, eat your food.
Yeah.
Why are you playing with your food? There's just a lot of yelling going on.
Yeah.
As opposed to connecting with the child. But some children feel like that yelling part is when their parents are actually connecting with them. that's when they get the attention, meaning that they act out
Yes.
in order to get their parents to give them that attention.
Yeah.
What advice would you give parents who are going through that particular scenario?
Okay, so I would say that once you decide to be a parent, you know that you're in for some kind of hands-on work. And yelling actually shuts down the brain of your child, the learning center of the brain. So no true learning occurs. So let's say a child is not eating or is not doing what you want him to do, that gets you angry and frustrated. But the truth is yelling can never change behavior.
Okay.
So you need to get to the point where you realize that I need to do something strategic to get across to my child. Okay. And so yelling at your children at the dinner table or when they're having breakfast is a no-no. What you can do is just be calm, because anger, you know, happens when you are not happy with what is going on, when you want your child to do something and the child is not doing it. So I would advise that you calm yourself. Most times yelling is not even about the child, it's about us parents. We want to vent our frustration. You know, so you just have to be emotionally intelligent as a parent. If the child is not eating, the child is not doing what you want to do, you just have to calm down, you know, take deep breaths. Those options are very funny, but those are things that actually work. You take deep breaths, you just think about something good, because when you yell, your child sees you as an enemy. Your child sees one big bully, you know, trying to yell at me. And there's a part of the brain, you know, that activates the mirror neurons. That's the part that makes the child replicate your behavior. Okay. So once you begin to yell, the child is going to yell back at you one day. So it's very important that if you know you want to connect with your child, it's work. Yeah, so every opportunity you have, just calm down and be emotionally intelligent.
I want to touch on connecting over activities. You mentioned that earlier on. For instance, I know there are some activities that my kids are interested in, but I might not be so interested in, but I know that it engages them. Then there's some things I like to do that I would like to hope my kids would be interested in. But it doesn't always balance out. For instance, I like to read. I like the classics. I like books. There are loads of books around. And one of my kids is leaning towards it, but the other one could not care less. Like, she looks at me like I'm speaking Greek when I start talking about books. But I really want to connect with her over countries, characters, whatever. And that's easier for me. So how do I begin to find that balance with activities and connecting with the kids?
Okay, so that's why it's important that you know each child. So let's say you have 3 children, it's advisable to have one-on-one time with each of them, not all of them, so that you discover what they like. Now, when you know that this child doesn't like reading, that's the way the child is. You can only encourage the child, but if she's not coming along, you just have to look for that thing she likes and connect. Connection is just about coming on common grounds. So you try to bring your child over to your team, or you go over to the child's team, so long as it's legit. You know, the child loves soccer, the child loves to sing, or, you know, just find that common. If she's not reading, there's something she likes to do, but you will never realize it if you don't have personal one-on-one time with her. Yeah, so that's it.
That disconnect that has obviously happened in many, many homes has forced parents to begin yelling, venting frustration on their children. Now, there must be some kind of long-term effects that this leads to. Can we touch on those?
Oh, my God. If parents knew the damage yelling caused, they would do less of it or not yell at all. Yelling makes your child feel devalued. I mean, it's very demeaning. If you want to pass information across, there are ways to do it. Nobody wants to be yelled at. You don't want to be yelled at by your boss or by your partner. You know, so, or if your friend visits you in your home and does something, breaks one of your favorite dishes or something, you're not going to start yelling at that person. You know, but why do we now yell at our children? It's because of the anger we feel, the frustration. You know, we need to get to the point where we're able to contain all of these emotions. You know, so your yelling is going to, like I mentioned earlier, it's going to shut down the learning center of the child's brain. The child is like, no learning can occur. So you're saying, leave that place. you've lost the child at that point. And another thing, apart from feeling devalued, is that the child begins to get anxious unnecessarily. The child, it affects their academics. They see that they are unworthy, they are no good, they can't do anything right, because any step they take, they get somebody yelling at them and all of that. And then they in turn become yellers. A yeller will beget another yeller. So you discover one day that you want to speak to your child. You've been yelling at that child for 2 years, and the child yells back at you right in your face. Or the child, some parents even get into situations where their children even want to hit them, because that is what they've modeled to the children. So the damage is, you can't quantify it. It really, and it affects the children's relationships later in life as well. So it's really, really bad.
I have to say thank you so much for connecting with us on this. And there are probably a few parents who have 1 or 2 questions about how to work on this as well. Please make sure you check us out on social media. Use @TVC Connect with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and ask the questions you have. Let's see how we can respond to them. It's a big issue. It's not something you can solve that quickly, but hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this together. I know that my voice level has reduced these days because I was told earlier, but one reason why I might feel like yelling now is because I think Mazino is going to eat that chicken before I do. I'm going to yell on that one.
You don't need to yell. Yelling at this chicken is going to make it lose its taste. I mean, this is so delicately prepared. Have you seen the... I mean, this guy's so, I don't know, his attention to detail is crazy.
You know the beautiful part of this? The fact that I was there every step of the way. It's amazing. It really is amazing how we've been able to put this all together. It seemed like all different. And then here we are. We have our mashed potatoes. We have our vegetables. We have our dip. We have our chicken.
I'm not happy, though. I'm not happy.
Why aren't you happy?
It doesn't look like it's going to go round. Are you allowed for now?
Please, would like our guests to join us here so
let's
we can
have you
breakfast.
have a taste.
Yeah,
please. Yes.
Yes. All right. Let's
our
lucky
person
all right.
for today.
Thank you.
Some water?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go. Please sit.
Thank you.
Yes. And dig
This
in.
looks
We want to
good.
know your feedback on this.
Oh, thank you.
Try the chicken. It's amazing.
Want to push that over?
Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm going to try this.
Yeah, let's see that. Let's see that. I'll get you a glass, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Looks amazing, doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I should be the one eating that. Oh, stop. Don't make me any. I'm suffering
You taste
here.
the honey, you taste the ketchup. And oh my gosh, the rosemary.
Stop already.
They don't understand the feeling when you take food. Instead, they'll tease you for the way you react.
It's so juicy.
Babe, enjoy it. I made it. No,
Oh,
not
please,
real. I
Mary.
made it.
This is so good.
It is, huh? Chef Ariola, thank you so much for
Nice
breakfast.
one, man. Nice one.
Wow.
Thank you so much for breakfast. Thank you so much for breakfast.
Thank you.
Okay, you haven't tried the dip, oh?
Oh.
Ha,
still
babe, when you
busy
tried
with
the dip.
She wants to get the best out of the chicken.
You know, that's why I told her. When you taste the dip now, just taste the dip. Use your fork to taste it. See? Burst of flavor, instant tap.
I can't even place it.
You can't place it, Abby. Don't worry. Just go and watch a rerun to know what's
it's
inside.
a rainbow of tastes.
You're seeing your taste
Oh
and
my
color,
God,
aren't you?
it's so good.
I can imagine.
Okay, you know what?
Welcome,
Before
chef.
all of us here go,
I'm really hungry. I really want to eat this. So, Mary, can we round this up already?
we need to say a very big thank you to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Of course, to all our guests, thank you so much for your time. To Titi, who is sitting pretty on the sofa, looking like she's about to, you know,
Oh, I love
jump
this
here.
song, though. Really great song to wrap up the show to.
Yes.
We're going to be back 7 a.m. tomorrow, y'all,
Yes,
on Wonder
so
Woman
bright and
Wednesday.
early.
Until then,
Okay.
bye, guys.
Thank you.